Hi everyone, it's Darlene. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm actually going to talk while I record the video, and hopefully the dogs won't go crazy barking. And I'm going to show you how to make these paper flowers, and I made them all using the same technique. And I'm going to show you one of them here. They're kind of hard, like stiff. So I like to put them on gift tags because when you put a flower on a card, it's really kind of hard to get it into an envelope and mail it. So I tend to use my flowers on gift cards, which is why you haven't seen me do it before. So here's some gift tags that I made the same technique on every flower. And let me show you this kit. It's called Poppin' Up Posies by Stampin' Up. And this kit comes with all these pieces. So it comes with a ton of these flowers. I'm not sure how many, like 80 or something, and then the same number of these blue ones, and then some brads to go in the middle, some string, some die cuts, and also these little miniature cupcake things. So anyway, and a stamp right here. It's a stamp. So you have everything that you need, and I used these to make this flower right here. And then I used these to make this flower. So I'm going to show you how to make those two flowers. This one I made using this, obviously, but I used a little bit, I didn't cut them at all, I just really used them just plain. And then this one I made using a scallop punch. I used a scallop punch to make this one. So it's pretty easy to make. Anyway, okay, so let me get ready for the first one and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so here's the first one I'm going to make. The one that I made with the flowers. This one I made with the pinkish flowers. This one, and I'm going to make one with the blue. So I've got 7 of them. Stampin' Up! Suggests using, I think, 9 per flower, but I thought 7 was sufficient. So I put 7 of them and I stacked them up together. And what you want to do is you want to do this while they're dry, because once they're wet, it's really hard to poke a hole in the paper. So what you're going to do is you're going to poke a hole in the middle so that when you're ready to put a brad in the middle, the hole's already done. Okay, it's pretty easy to poke a hole through this thing. So I've got 7 of them all stacked together. Just gonna make sure I get a really good hole in there. Okay. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take maybe half of them and I'm going to split the petals of the flower. So I'm taking my craft scissors, I'm just gonna cut it right down the middle. Okay, now I've got 2 stacks here and I'm going to take 3 of them, which this one actually has 3. Okay, so I'm going to put these back together here. And, yikes, okay. I'm going to get them lined up. Now on the top 3, so I've got 4 down here that are going to stay long, and then the 3, I'm going to take it and I'm going to create like a point. And these 3 are going to lay on the top. Okay, so now I've got all my pieces cut and I'm going to separate them out. Now I'm going to spray them. I like to have a little bit of sparkle, so I have some Perfect Pearls mixed with some water in this mini mister. There's also Smooch Spritz if you want to use that. And I'm just going to really get everything out of the way here. Really soak them. Okay. And make sure they're pretty wet. Now these little petals are really thin, so you're going to have to be careful not to tear them. Okay, now I'm going to actually crumple them up into little balls. Okay, now after you've done that, you're just going to carefully again unwad them You don't want to flatten it out too much because you do want to have that little crumpled look to it. Okay, once you've got them all laid out like that, you're going to put them back on your paper piercer. These are the top ones. Okay. Then you're going to hold it right here in the middle, so you have them all lined up on that hole. And you're going to take your bread, stick it in there, and then flatten it out on the other side. Alright, now here's where the most important part comes in. So you could just leave it like that, which is okay, but the front part looks a little flat. So what you want to do is you want to pull all the petals forward. And just kind of slowly pull them forward. Around your bread. You want them to all go flat, which is why I'm doing it a little bit at a time. Okay, and you're gonna really squeeze it together. So it almost looks like a bud. Okay, so this is what I have. Now, you could let that dry for a few minutes, or you can start undoing it now. I've done it both ways, and they both, you know, one is a little stiffer than the other, but as you can see, as long as you don't push it out too much, you can have it as full in the middle as you want, or not. This is the one I created before, so I kind of made it flat in the middle so that you could see the bread. You can push the outside ones and leave the inside ones crumpled in. I like to have my bread showing just in the middle because that's kind of a pretty one. And also when they dry, you can adjust the flowers in the back and twist them. Like if you want to twist them to cover some holes, you can do that. Anyway, so that's this flower. And when it dries, you can see it's all stiff. The next thing I want to show you is this one. I created this with the little cupcake containers. So what I did with this was I sprayed it with the fireworks, which was kind of messy, and I got my fingers all full of red ink. But it did come out pretty cool because it's sparkly. And after it was done, I took this white marker, and you could see I kind of touched up the edges. But I think I'm going to try something different on these. First I'm gonna, let me get it ready for you, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so for this one I'm going to take my cupcake liners, and they come in 4 different sizes. I'm going to take 3 of the largest, 3 medium, and then 1 smaller, and then 1 smallest. And I'm going to take some Melon Mambo ink and a sponge dauber, and I'm actually going to sponge the edges of all these. Okay, once I've got them all sponged up, I'm going to take a scissor, and I'm going to, similar to the other ones, I'm going to cut them down about 2, 3, about 6 cuts per, and they'll kind of lay flatter that way, you can see. Okay, so I'm going to cut all these. So again, while they're dry, I'm put them back together. Size order. Okay, it's my paper piercer to poke a hole in the middle. Pretty easy to get through the pack. Make sure it's a pretty big hole. Okay, and then I'm going to spritz these. So my ink is running a little bit, which is nice. Okay. Make sure they get all wet. Okay. All right, now I'm going to crumple them up just like I did before. Okay, so now you have kind of a bud here, and then you're going to slowly pull it out. Not too much on this one, actually. See, I've got a little hole right there, but once it dries, I can shift the flowers around the brad. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do on that one. So as you can see, this one's really pretty. I like how the ink that just came out. So if you don't want to buy the kit, you can easily make flowers using just a scallop punch. And this is just some paper that I got at Joann's. And I'm just going to punch out these pieces. Okay, and then you're just gonna pull it out. There you go. That came out pretty. I will have some photos on the blog. I'm going to mess with this one afterwards. Oh, and for these tags, I just put a doily behind this one. It came in a pack from Ellen Hudson. These doilies, I just put it on the back, and I used my white gel pen to draw this faux stitching. And then I stamped the Just For You that came with the set. On this one, I actually used the die cut on the opposite side, so where the embossed was actually going into the paper. And I stamped the wood grain stamp, and then I took my gel pen and I just colored in where inside the grooves. And then you just poke a hole. And then for this one, I took this Color Box Frost White ink, and I just took my ink pad and I just kind of rubbed it on the paper like that. And then I stamped this in black. And that's it. So hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.